I was not an expert either. When I first started, trust and believe I was not an expert. In fact, let me tell you a secret. I am still not an expert. I am still not an expert at getting on in front of this camera, getting on YouTube and recording videos. Regardless of how it may seem or feel, understand that these videos are edited. I absolutely 1000% make mistakes. I have to keep notes of the things that I want to talk about. There's no expert. Literally, the people that you are identifying as experts are just figuring it out. Just like you figured out things in your past life, just like you're figuring things out now. That's the same way that we that have gotten to a certain point in this digital space and have made consistent sales online, it's because we're just figuring it out, or we have figured out a strategy that has worked for us and we're consistently just doing that. So don't let your mind convince you that you have to be an expert in anything, because for as long as you feel like I have to be an expert in this, I have to do this right, this has to be perfect, I gotta get my website tip-top shape, I gotta get my landing page. As long as you feel that way, as long as you allow your mind to convince you that you have to say the right things all of the time, you can't just be yourself, you can't make mistakes. For as long as you allow your mind to convince you of that, that is going to be your biggest detriment. That is going to be what is going to hold you back. I remember months ago when I was like first starting to get comfortable with recording, I was nowhere close to comfortable, okay? I was like literally in the very beginning stages. And when I would start talking in front of the camera, I would get so, like, every time I would mess up, I would stop the camera, right? And, or every time that I would say something that just didn't feel normal or natural or whatever, I would just stop the camera. And it's like, girl, you don't have to stop the camera as many times as you stop the camera. You could literally just edit that part out, okay? You don't have to stop the camera as much as you stop it. That's one of the things that is going to help you nurture that muscle, help you get into the habit of recording, get you into the habit of doing a podcast, get you into the habit of writing a newsletter. Literally just doing it. The only thing that you have is the only thing that you have. Okay? I'm going to say that again. The only thing that you have is the only thing that you have. The reason why I stress so much about just starting, whatever it is that you are starting, just starting and get more information as you go, is because that information that you get as you go is going to help you improve on the version of where you currently are, right? But you can't improve on the version of where you currently are unless you actually get that thing rolling, get that thing going. It doesn't necessarily have to be recording videos. For me, God called me to speak to you, speak to my audience, speak to my target person by recording videos, but that may not be your journey, right? Your journey might be writing and creating newsletters or a blog. Your journey might be podcasting. Your journey might be on Instagram versus YouTube, or TikTok versus Instagram. Whatever it is that wherever your journey is taking you, whatever it is that you are being called to do, that is your calling. And so you have to figure that point out, right? And I want to say figure out what feels most comfortable to you. But honestly, what feels most comfortable to you is not always what is going to make you the most money. Okay. So let me just tell you from experience, like, nothing about coming on camera was comfortable for me. And it literally has made me the most money that I have ever made online with digital products. If you are new here, my name is Treviana, and on this channel, I give you every single thing that I am currently doing, things that I have done in the past to make my first sale, and just everything that I am failing at, things that I'm succeeding at, and all of the things that I'm doing to make consistent sales. This didn't just happen for me, just like it's not just going to happen for you. It was literally strategy. It was literally me learning things that I did not know before, me stepping out of my comfort zone, me getting out of my own way. Like, all of those things was what led me here. Welcome to my channel. If you are wanting to change your life, if you are wanting to start making money online, like making real money online consistently, right? If you want to get to your first sale, if you're just starting out in digital products, if you already have a digital product and you are trying to figure out how to get that digital product to sell, and you have been, I don't know, maybe caught up in the web of master resale rights or PLR or whatever it is that they're doing out there, and you just can't figure it out, this is the place that you want to be. I read a book not too long ago. Actually, it was maybe about 3 or 4 years ago, and I continue to read that book. I read it about 3 or 4 years ago for the first time, and I continue to read that book or to like tap in with that book every now and then because of how much it changed my life. The name of the book is called Don't Believe Everything You Think by Joseph Wynn. And that book, when you are ready, like that book is not for everyone, but when you are ready, when you are tired of allowing like just thoughts that infiltrate your spirit, thoughts that don't feel good to you, thoughts that you have had all of this time that just have not benefited who you have become, who you are. When you are just ready to really start reshaping and reframing your mindset, that book is going to literally, and I mean quite literally, change your life. I want you to remember that our minds were made to keep us comfortable, to keep us safe. And although I appreciate my mind to some degree for trying, right? Like, thank you for trying. Thank you for trying to keep me safe. Thank you for trying to keep me comfortable. But in that same breath, like, you're not in control. Your thoughts are not in control. Why? Because your thoughts are not who you are. Your thoughts are what you have. But once you get to the point where you can acknowledge and recognize your thoughts for something that you have and not something that you are, then you start to separate, like, I don't need this thought, right? If a thought comes into your mind that you don't necessarily need, that is not beneficial to you, you can quite literally say, this thought does not serve me in any way, shape, or form. And you can dismiss that thought, right? And you don't have to be negative about dismissing the thought. Just understand that that's the programming that your mind, that your brain has had for the amount of years that you are. However old you are, that's the amount of years that your mind has been programmed to think the way that it currently does think. And so give yourself some grace. Give yourself time to be able to get to know that version of you, and then also get to know the version of you that no longer wants to think or be that version. When you give yourself grace, when you give yourself time, when you are able to take the space to acknowledge these are not thoughts that I want to have, that's when the magic starts to happen, because you start to control your thoughts versus your thoughts controlling you. You start to control what goes on up here versus what goes on up here controlling you. And your thoughts eventually leads to how you feel, right? If you notice, you oftentimes have to have a thought. Something has to penetrate either through your vision, through your hearing, your senses, for you to have a certain thought about a certain thing. And then naturally, what's going to happen is you're going to start to feel that way. You probably was not in a bad mood. You maybe wasn't in a good mood, but you wasn't in a bad mood. You got into an environment to where people were in a bad mood. That energy started to infiltrate your spirit, whether it was through audio, whether it was through sight, whether it was just started to infiltrate and penetrate your aura. Now, by the end of the day, you in a bad mood. You frustrated just like the rest of them. You talking about the same junk that everybody else talking about. It's just like, it literally drains you. Like Marlo said, today drained me. Okay. It literally drains you. And so when we start to be able to control what goes on up here, then we start to be able to control what goes on in here. And eventually we start to control what goes on out here. Now, I say control very loosely because we don't inherently control anything really, right? So to speak. We don't really control any of it. The creator is in control. But I like to say I control the things that I can control, right? I can control how I respond to something. I can control how I think about something. I can control my mood towards something. A lot of the times we think that we can't control our mood. Lie. We can most certainly control our mood, right? Not because something happened to you that put you in a bad mood means that you have to stay in a bad mood, right? And I know that this page is about making your first sale and getting to consistent sales, but all of these things literally play into how successful you're going to be as a digital CEO. Why? Because you have to be able to regulate your mood. You have to be able to be emotionally mature. You have to be able to try, fail, and adjust. I talked about this on my coaching call just last night. If you are not in the VIP community, I encourage you to click the link down in the description box below and get on the inside. But you control what you can control, right? But you have to be able to control what you can control. If you can't control your mood, if you can't control how you respond, if you don't have any self agency, if you don't have any agency over yourself and you are just going with the flow, right? Y'all, I remember I adopted the mindset of I'm just going with the flow, right? And yes, it is wonderful to be able to just go with the flow, but go with the flow with intention. Go with the flow knowing like, okay, knowing who you are and whether or not this feels like what God intends for you to have, right? Everything that you govern your life around, ask yourself, is this the best God has for me? Because if it's not the best God has for you, then there's some reevaluating. There's some things that you have to start thinking about, right? If it's not the best God has for you, no matter in what category, no matter in what arena, no matter in what situation, if it is not the best that you know that your creator has for you, then there's some adjusting, there's some things that need to happen in you, in your environment, within that space. And the only thing that you can control is how you respond to it, right? And how you continue to pour into yourself, how you continue to nurture yourself, continue to get to know the version of you that not only that you are, because it is important for you to get to know the version that you are, but it is also equally, if not more important, to know the version of you that you are becoming. I say becoming loosely because you are already that version in the future. I've already said this in previous videos, but you are already the version of you that you aspire to be in the future. You just aren't the version of you right now that can be that person. Still things that you need to learn, still things that you need to adapt, still things that you need to grow, areas that you need to grow in, right? Still things that you need to let go, still things that you need to walk away from. All of those things play a part in how much money you make. All of those things play a part in whether you make your first sale online, right? Like who you are and who you are becoming 1000% plays a factor in the amount of success that you have in this digital space. If you are stuck in who you are trying to be, if you don't want to grow, if you don't want to try new things, if you don't want to try something different, if you don't want to, I don't know, just experience something new, even if you don't ultimately get to, if you don't get to your ultimate goal, that you just trying leads you to the ultimate goal. Failure is not failure unless you quit. Okay? Failure is not failure unless you quit. So trying something and it not working out the way that you imagined it working out, that's not failure. That's literally leading you to the next thing that's going to eventually get you to the success. I can tell you my own story of when I first started recording video. I was not talking like this. It was not very fluid for me when I was talking. I felt like I had to present in a certain way. I felt like I had to talk in a certain way. I would never come on here with my nails looking like not too much. I would never come on just not feeling like I had it all put together and I knew exactly what to say. Now I literally jot down some bullet points and I'm like, okay, this is what I'm going to talk about because I got to get this up off my spirit, right? But I had to grow to that point. But had I not felt those feelings of discomfort, like I had to literally break through those feelings of discomfort. I think about a butterfly. When a butterfly, before a butterfly becomes a butterfly and it's a caterpillar and it has to go through the cocooning stage, I could not imagine that the cocooning stage is easy, simple, just not painful at all. Just it's just a natural progress. All we know is that the all we know is that the caterpillar eventually turns into a cocoon that eventually turns into a butterfly. But who's to say that that pain that process isn't uncomfortable? Who's to say that there's not some sort of discomfort that happens when you are going through that process? And so God is literally the creator is literally trying to butterfly you, okay? The creator is literally trying to get you to a place where you are able to spread your wings, when you are able to feel free, where you are able to really step into the version of you that you are intended to be. A caterpillar is intended to be a butterfly, okay? And so, in order for a caterpillar to become a butterfly, it literally has to go through a process, right? So don't discount where you are. Know that this is part of the process, and there is no coincidences, there is no accidents. There's no accident, and things happen as they are intended to happen, right? Maybe not always the way we want them to happen, but the way that they are intended to happen. And so you didn't click on this video on accident. You didn't just stumble upon this video. You haven't been watching my videos for a while just for the sake of watching them. It's because the creator, your spirit guides, whoever it is that you believe in, whatever it is that you believe in, is trying to get your attention. And I want you to be able to get your own attention and realize that now is the time. Tomorrow is not the time. Yesterday is not the time. Now is the time. So that is it for today's video, you guys. I hope that you found value. I know that you found value. If you did, go ahead and click the subscribe button. Of course, go ahead and join us on the YouTube family. You guys have been killing it on just subscribing and commenting. I see all of your comments. Thank you so much for commenting. Today's shout out goes to Prayer Box 2763. I see you, I feel you, and I love you for being here. Thank you for being present. Thank you for allowing yourself to be in a place where you can receive whatever it is that you need to receive. None of this is on accident. If you have not commented, go ahead and comment down below. Comment on any one of my videos. I absolutely see your comments and I absolutely try to respond to all of your comments. I try. Give me some time if I don't respond right away, but I will absolutely try to respond to all of your comments. If you need more help in just figuring out where to start, figuring out how to get your digital product to sell, figuring out like what you need to do to be able to be successful in the digital product space, I encourage you to click the link down in the description box below. Go ahead and download what it is that you need to be successful. It literally is everything that I have done and everything that I am currently doing. In fact, I just gave my VIP community, my inner circle community, a prompt that is literally going to walk you through from A to Z on how to not only start the process with becoming a successful digital CEO, but how to get your viewers or your audience to convert, how to even get an audience, how to create a digital product, Who are you talking to? Like all of the things, right? It's the 100 ways to guarantee your first digital sale. Down in my description box below, it is literally at an insanely discounted rate. I don't know how long it's going to be at that rate. I know that it is the holiday season and I want to give you guys, just something that you can gift yourselves with, because you're not really gifting me. You are literally gifting yourself. And if you get it at that price, great. If not, I'm sorry. I don't know when you're watching this video, but I'm sorry. Just know that I am continuously updating that one ebook. And so if you are wanting to get in and you're wanting to get all of the information, go ahead and get it at whatever it is at now, because if not, it is going to increase at some point. It has already probably increased at the time that you're watching this video. So anyway, you guys, I love you guys so much. Thank you guys for being here. I 1000% feel you guys. I 1000% see you guys, and I love you guys so much. I will see you on the next video. Bye, guys.